Welcome back to the SSL Family Dad channel. Today we are out in the, well, I guess around the homestead here in the woods, and we're going to be tapping a few trees. So I've got a few different things we're going to use, a few different methods of tapping trees, buckets, bags, and a new little gravity collection system, I guess we'll call it, that I'm going to try. So let me show you kind of what we have around here. If you haven't been following along at the new homestead, show you what we have as far as maple trees and what we've done to prepare for this point. We are late February here in Michigan, and then we'll get a few trees tapped. So we have this 5 acres here is what we are dealing with, and we've got a ton of oak trees in here, but we also have mixed in some maple trees. And so we've got kind of all the way down to the road here. You can see some we've got trees all along the side of the road, and then all behind the house here there's another huge patch of forest. Goes all the way around the house, all the way over to this edge of the field, and then we've got some along the way here. I can't remember how many maple trees that I counted, but I did go around last year, Summer and I, and we marked all of the maple trees. So we looked for maple leaves, obviously. Many of these are silver maples, and some of them I think are red maples. I don't think there's any sugar maples in here, unfortunately, but they've all got a red dot on them. Most of them do. So I would highly recommend doing that in the springtime. If you're looking to tap trees, maybe you've decided and it's winter. It's a little harder to identify if you've got a forest filled with trees. There's lots of trees that can look similar to maples. Maples also change drastically as they get older. The bark looks different. There's different varieties and all that stuff. So get out and mark your trees. Just put a little dot of color at the bottom. You'll never notice it and see it throughout the year, but definitely will help. So I've done that. We've marked a bunch of maple trees around here. I think there was like 60 of them or something like that. We're not going to tap that many this year. We're just going to slow roll into this at the new homestead, but hopefully we can get maybe 15 tapped this year, and then we'll just keep adding on every year. So a lot of the trees are about this size. Many of them, probably half of them, are single tap, not really big trees. Many more of them are about this size, and then I have a few in here that are I don't know, maybe this size. This is not a maple, but I've got a few that are a little bit larger. So most of the trees that I'm tapping are younger. I think that back there is a maple, and then this one here. So there's a couple decent sized ones, but most of them are going to be just single tap trees, and they're probably not going to produce an enormous amount. Remember all the taps that we had at the old house? I had hundreds of taps and tubing and buckets. Well, when we moved, most of that stuff was discarded or given away. We got rid of the buckets, we got rid of a lot of that stuff, and so I don't have all of the same things that I had before. I'm starting over essentially for maple syrup. I still have our big sap pan, and I still have some other things. So let me show you what I've got for this year. So I bought a few new bag holders at Family Farm and Home this year. They had them on sale. So I bought 5 more of those. I already had a couple of the bag holders and a few bags. So I've got more bags coming as well. And I also got one of these. This is new. They had this year, a little beginner tubing kit. So we can actually connect 5 trees together with a single line, and then have that flow into some kind of collection tank. So this I'll be setting up here in a couple days. I do like these over the buckets. It's not quite as eco-friendly, I guess, to throw the bags away each year, but you can wash them out if you want to. But man, what a pain in the butt it is to clean buckets every year. This is just a lot easier. And then we have a couple of these actual buckets with the taps built into the lids here, or not built in, but attached to. And these we'll be setting up here today as well. So, okay, well, let's not make this more complicated than it needs to be. We're gonna drill a hole. I've got my drill bit marked at about 2 inches, 2 1/4 inches, somewhere right in here. So I'm gonna drill the hole to about the black line there. I'm gonna have it pointed on at a little bit of an angle down. I don't know how much flow we're gonna get today, but yeah, it's dripping. All right, it's pretty good. So this one has a hook that goes with it. This is where the bucket will hang, and the spile is actually, the lid mounts right to it. So there it comes. check this one out.
Don't let it go.
I have never seen sap run out like that.
Wait, can I look at?
Go ahead. It's not going to be sweet with 2% sugar or less.
I mean, it tastes like water, but like dirty water.
This one, okay, so let's.
It's already up here.
So we got that one. We got the two down by the road. We got this one down here. So most of these are just running like that.
And it's only been like 7 minutes or 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
It's only been 10 minutes and already up here.
So we're gonna get a lot of this. We'll have to empty it probably tonight. This will be our end tree right here. Okay. So. So I think the plan is going to be to, that'll be my end tree. So I'll put the barrel down here somewhere, have it pour into that. And I got to find 5 maple trees up in here somewhere, somewhere up the hill that I can kind of zigzag that line up and tap through. Well, 4 more up there, and then it'll come down and pour into the barrel. Now, ideally, I would have this, you know, all these tubes connect all the way down the ravine here. This is all downhill, and then have a evaporator maybe on the side of the hill somewhere in here, kind of step down and built into the hill, and then evaporate everything down there. But for now, this year, we'll build a temporary evaporator up there by the wood pile, and then I'll just have to transport with the golf cart or the tractor either the whole barrel, bring the whole barrel over there, or 5 gallon or 10 gallons at a time in containers, and just transport it over. I've got a path along here that I can get over to the evaporator that way. Summer, I've got a job for you. It's called Find Dad's Hammer. It's a fun game. So, my hammer fell off my hammer hook somewhere. So you get to find it. Won't that be fun? It's a brown handled hammer.
It's a wooden handle. It's a wooden handle in the wood.
Should be easy to find in here.
There's like a rope that I can like.
Victory. You win. It looks like it's starting to work. These are pretty small trees, but it's a good test. All right, well, I've got all 5 taps put in and all the tubing put in. And I'm not gonna lie, this is probably one of the neatest things I've ever done with maple syrup. I I'm addicted. I want to do 100 of these. It's so much fun to tie this all together and watch all the sap come down and collect in your barrel. It's definitely satisfying to see. So now I will say this, I have tapped a couple trees here that are that are pretty small. General rule of thumb is about 10 inches, 8 inches usually the smallest, at about 4.5 feet off the ground, chest level for me. And so I've tapped a few of these that are about 6 inches maybe, but just as an experiment, I've got a couple here. If they die, it's not the end of the world. We can thin a couple of these out. So anyway, let me show you kind of how this all went together, and we'll see how well it's working. Any luck finding my hammer again?
Yeah, he lost his hammer again. Like for the second time.
It's got to be around here somewhere. You'll find it.
I was like, kicking around trying to like get under the leaves.
So it comes with these T's, and so you have your main line running in, and then you've got a T right here. This is the main line, I guess you'd say, and then this is the tap line. So it goes up to these little clear spiles. I'm not a huge fan of these spiles, but they seem to work okay. It's hard to tell. So this is actually filled with sap, and this right here as well, and it's like a little air bubble here, and then you can see it just kind of running down the bottom of the tube. And you can see here we've got, this is all filled up, and so you can see it kind of working its way into the barrel. I wrapped the lines around to try to get a little bit more tension, and then it comes with these little hook T's. So this is the main line kind of comes through here, and then it hooks on the bottom, and this just keeps it tight around this tree. It holds it, and then obviously we're running up to the next tree. We've got it. This one I didn't go all the way around. I just kind of zigzagged between these trees just to keep it kind of tight. And this one here is way too small to tap, but we'll see what happens. So I couldn't resist. I did have trouble finding in this area with the amount of tubing that I had. It was surprising how quickly the tubing ran out. I have a couple bigger trees up there, one there, a bigger one there, and a couple more up a hill here that I just couldn't get to with the tubing that I had. So another one here, and you can kind of see it slowly making its way around the tree here. This is a pretty steep slope down to the barrel, so once it hits this spot right here, you can just see it zipping down there. Nice flow, if you can see it in there or not. And then same thing here. Snaked all the way around. This just helps to keep it tight. It doesn't say to do that in the instructions, but it seems to work pretty good. And then up to the end. So the end is the same as the beginning, essentially, except for the T has the hook. This just helps to, again, kind of terminate your end line. And then the this end of the T, or this side of the T, goes up to our tap. So it's the beginning of March here in Michigan. Generally, this is the best part of our season. So I'm looking at the weather over the next couple weeks, and it looks like perfect maple syrup temperatures. Freezing at night, 40s during the day, sunny, all that good stuff. So I think we're gonna get quite a bit of sap here. So that means I need to build an evaporator. I don't have a nice one. I've built a lot of evaporators. It seems like every year I'm building a new one. So we'll build a temporary one here. I have I'll show you how I do that and the whole process. It's super cheap and very effective. It works very well. So we've got a lot of work ahead of us over the next few weeks, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So don't forget to hit thumbs up on today's video. Thumbs up. If this is your first time here, we'd love to have you subscribe and tag along. More maple syrup stuff coming up, gardening soon, and all kinds of other sustainable living and DIY things to come this spring and summer. So we'd love to have you follow along. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good one.